Alright, welcome back everyone, and today we're doing Seashore War here on the 80% Guide for Tropical Freeze. Hopefully you still have Cranky Kong after leaving 6-1. A very stressful stage, 6-1, but you really don't have time to relax just yet. Still have to make it through 2 more stages before we can kind of catch a breather here. Seashore War has a lot of precision jumping and pogoing, Cranky and Donkey Kong, so be prepared. Make sure that you have the complete mastery of the Kongs by now. Two. Thank you, Goldfish, for that one. And thank you, Newbie and NK, for that one. Some tricks provided by the other runners. Here is your 1 damage boost in this stage. Sometimes a difficult shot there. Nice, okay. Ship skip. That was a little risky right there. Alright. Now your route is your route throughout this stage is pretty much going to be entirely based on reacting to what you previously did. This is a very difficult stage to do. It almost doesn't usually look the same, but you're trying to nail specific tricks, again, looking for landmarks throughout the stage, knowing what you're trying to get on each part of the stage. So let's go back and try and explain all of this. And at the beginning of this stage, if you don't have Cranky Kong because of something terrible that happened in 6-1, you're going to need to be slightly quick, but don't worry. Jumping out of the intro cutscene right there is pretty difficult with solo Donkey Kong, but it's not necessary to do. You just need to be quick afterwards because you're trying to catch a barrel cycle right here. See how it just changed from Cranky to Diddy? You would normally have to wait there for it to spin back to Cranky, which costs some time. So if you screw up the jump at the beginning, it's a pretty tight jump to make if you're solo Donkey Kong, but you do have a little bit of time until Cranky comes back and you'd be able to grab him. Otherwise, do try to be quick. You have Cranky already, so just make sure you're going through the stage as quickly as possible. Bounce underneath. Make sure you're doing a light enough jump that you don't hit those blue hoots, and then be ready to tap left just a bit so that you land on this platform. You need to roll off of this platform, so you need to make sure you actually have room to roll jump off of it. There's 2 patrolling tucks with pointy helmets. You can actually bounce off of the pointy tucks to make sure you get to the next section. It actually skips having to pull the boat up. So let's see if I can get that real quick. And, okay. You want to make sure that you're jumping as deep as you can to get on the pointy tuck helmet. Bouncing up here is just barely possible. Now because you're going down the slope, you do pick up a little bit of speed as you're rolling down it. So you want to jump right around there. That'll give you a little bit of speed as you go through this next section. It's just a little bit, but every little bit counts. You're going through doing a pogo, pogo, full pogo, full pogo. You want to make sure you do a light pogo off of this Hootz, and the reason being you want to do a light pogo. Oof! Really sucks, but you want to do a light pogo so that you land on the second Hootz, not the first Hootz. And you want to make sure that you have enough room to land on the second Hootz and not the first Hootz, because as you can see, this first Hootz just made my day a lot worse. So what you're trying to do on this section to quickly get through it, Michael Goldfish showed me that normally you're trying to pull this section of the boat up as quickly as you possibly can here. This Blue Hootz drug ring that seems to be going around, they want to take your old man. You don't want to give up your old man just yet. But basically, if you get here as soon as possible, all you need to do is land on this plug and hold grab, tap, jump, so that Donkey Kong pulls on the plug twice. Once, and then halfway through the second one. That's when you'll go. So it'll be like 1, 2, and then like as soon as you see the second one start, you do a roll jump, and you'll be able to just barely pogo as the ship's water is like receding. So you'd be like a 1, 2, and then you would jump and pogo. Now the water is basically still going to be visibly there, so you're going to be like a little nervous, but remember, Goldfish told me all you got to do is pull the plug once and then like half, so it's like 1.5. Just keep mashing it and wait until you see Donkey Kong 1/2, and then you can roll jump and you'll make it through just fine. You want to make sure you pogo out of the water as it's coming up. And for this next section, it's actually a really nice setup. When the fish comes up, you do a full pogo off the fish and keep holding A until you're like at the apex of your jump. After that, you don't have to touch anything. It's that simple. And NK and Newbie, one day I was struggling with this stage, and I was trying to figure out like what I could do to make this stage a little more easy for me, and they told me about this setup. So Full pogo, bounce, 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 bounce. Now, if you don't bounce off of that last bunny, you'll just land directly after him, which means all you have to do instead is roll jump off of that onto this section right here. Not a big deal. You're not losing a whole lot of time from doing that. Either one, just fine. You have to make sure you grab onto this first one, and I won't be able to do it because I took damage early in the stage, but you would basically be doing a damage boost by jumping into the water. Make sure you're going over halfway across this water, because anytime you jump into like a dangerous obstacle, like this icy water here, it'll throw you to the ledge you are closer to. So if you just barely land in the water, you'll be thrown back to the left. You need to jump at least halfway across. So you want to make sure that if you don't, that jump is pretty tight. Now, to get past this next section with 1 heart, what I find consistently works is, again, you want to do a light jump and pull your cane out as soon as possible. That'll get you through without taking damage, because it prioritizes your cane. Hopefully, I didn't waste too much time, because it is timing based. You want to make sure you're jumping off that vine as soon as possible without falling into the water again. So. Perfect. Okay. Now you want to jump again at the bottom of that hill. A couple pogos here. I like to bounce into the ceiling because this way I don't have to like time a careful bounce that'll get me just underneath the hoots or have to roll through them. It's all pogos, and you just make sure you pogo off of that helmeted tuck into the ceiling. It'll drop you onto this platform beneath another blue hoot strug ring. Roll jump, roll jump, roll jump, pogo, fire. And you need to make sure you're doing roll jumps, because if you pogo the whole way, it'll be too fast and you'll actually fire into the second blue hoots that I'm about to pass over. You do it any slower and you'll actually bounce into that first blue hoots right there that I just flew over. So you want to make sure you're blasting into the barrel as soon as possible. It's roll jump, roll jump, roll jump, and then you want to make sure you pogo into the barrel and shoot almost right away. It's pretty much right away every time, because you've wasted enough time that you can. The timing is just set up like that. If you're really worried about it, though, you can just let that hoots pass by. You can go underneath him. And it's honestly, it's not a shameful thing. Just make sure you practice this technique. You don't want to lose Cranky, because the next thing coming up is the boat skip. I made it. Okay, so pogo, pogo. These are basically full pogos here. Light pogo right there. If you notice that you're too far to the right after the first pogo, on the next one you make sure you do it light, because you can fall and miss, land in the water, and then you'll not only lose Cranky, but you'll be stuck riding the boat. One of the worst things to do on this stage. It costs like half a minute. You want to make sure that you're getting right here. You want to make sure that you like try and pogo here, and then you can duck underneath the hoots, because that way you can catch the fluff on his last jump on this cycle. Now I have to wait for him to turn around. Oh darn. Okay, so if you should screw up and lose Cranky for some reason, then shamefully you have to pull this thing up. But basically when the fluff is bouncing is when you can pogo up over the having to do pull this boat up here. For this last section here, it's basically you can bounce from one thing to the next, but please, above all else, make sure that you don't lose Cranky like I did. You need Cranky for the next stage, and in the next stage, you don't get Cranky at all. This was your last chance to pick up Cranky before you start 6-3. The intro for 6-3 has tricks that require Cranky, and the only barrel in 6-3 is a Diddy barrel. The true Diddy of Shame is coming up. So try and make sure that you practice Seashore and that you keep your old man all the way through. The stage is very difficult, but it's not that bad to practice on time attack. Please feel free to do so. And we're going to go ahead and look at whoever has the top time right now. I believe... Oh, wow! That person, Tsukio, took the time 6-1 and 6-2. And there's extreme sexiness. Oh, man. So, extreme sexiness actually came up with some of the strats in 6-1. And... the reason why he stands out to us is because not only does he have a great name, but we use some of his tactics that we got off of Time Attack. Time Attack is a beautiful thing. So there's the solo DK roll jump at the beginning. Pretty tight, but you'll get the hang of it. There's the bounce off the helmeted tuck. Bounce, bounce, light bounce, bounce, second hoots. 1.5. Just barely making it without getting damaged. Full bounce, nothing. There's not landing on the fluff. You have to ride this vine. And then here's the damage boost, the only one that you'll be taking in the stage. You'll still be invincible as you bounce off of that. And that's the other way that Goldfish does it. And then right here, again, blasting between the hoots, the evil blue hoot struggling. And he'll be able to properly show off what happens right here. Wait a second and go. And then from here out, you can do all full bounces. I like to just make sure that I memorize where the enemy's attacks are going to be so I can bounce off of them instead of risk being hit by them. So, Seashore War. Not an easy stage. Again, this is the last gauntlet of the run. I highly recommend practicing these stages as well before you start doing your runs. And now that we've done 6-2, we're on our way to Aqueduct Assault, the end of the final gauntlet, and then we still have the rest of World 6, so I would say that the rest of World 6 gets easier, but you really can't relax no matter what. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you next time.